With Cour 1 of Season 3 coming to a close with a magnificent cliffhanger ending, many of us are left struggling with something to look forward to. I mean, with the past Wednesday not having a new ReZero episode, and the current state of the world right now, I might as well end it all. But, to avoid being like Subaru from episode 7, 26, or 35, we have to remind ourselves that there's light at the end of this dark, dark tunnel. From today's date, we have to wait nearly 10 weeks until the next ReZero episode. But, despite all this, my main message to you, from both the title and the thumbnail of this video, is that we have to stay locked in for ReZero, especially because of all the greatness that awaits us. Now, obviously it would be ridiculous if I were to spoil what comes ahead, both given that it would ruin Cour 2, and despite the fact that I've read the Arc 5 light novel, I literally remember almost none of it, because of Yen Press's awful release schedule for translations. I mean, really, how do you translate a series slower than the author writes it? I mean, I know he's a fast writer, but still. And also the constant translation mistakes, both in the light novel and the anime. It's like ReZero is cursed. But besides all that, looking forward, we have so many awesome setups for Season 3. However, to clear up a misconception, or at least something that I believe to be wrong, is the fact that Cour 1 is called the Attack Arc, and Cour 2 is called the Counter-Attack Arc. The first two cours of Season 3, and yes, I say the first two cours, because we're going to get 38 episodes total, more on that later to not become too tangential, but these first two cours are the adaptation of the Stars That Engrave History arc, also known as Arc 5. It's a single arc, not two of them. Alright, just one more thing before we get onto the matchups. Can we just imagine how beautiful each of these fights will look going into the nighttime setting? I mean, the daytime fights certainly look great, but both the nighttime and the sunset certainly set up for more beautiful shots and coloring. Especially with the rim lighting that they're going to use to cover the night scenes. Now on to our first fight. Priscilla and Liliana versus Sirius. Now this fight is an absolutely goated setup for a fight. I honestly love both of the ways that Liliana and Priscilla are directly opposed to Sirius' authority of wrath. Firstly, Liliana's divine protection of telepathy is a power of bringing people together, rather than driving them apart and forcing them into isolation, which is the actual effect of Sirius' power, as opposed to what she claims. Priscilla, on the other hand, has the power of absolutely not giving a crap about how other people's emotions affect her. And even though we've gotten a sneak peek of her skills during episode 6, I'm really looking forward to how she shines in her fights against Sirius. What are Otto, Felt, Al, Ferris, Anastasia, and Beatrice gonna do? Now, before we move on to all of the main fights that have been laid out, I want to pay attention to the ones that we don't really know much of as of now. We know that Otto is on his way to recover the Tome of Wisdom, but he kinda has to survive the war-torn city to achieve that goal. We know that Felt and Gaston are chilling together, but I'm hoping to find out how they're gonna help with the battle against the Witch's Cult. For Anastasia, she really isn't a fighter, so it makes the most sense for her to stay in the town hall. And same with Ferris, as he's a healer, so it makes sense for him to stay at a known location, so people can return to him when they need it. For Al, a little bit of cut content is that he has a small conversation with Subaru saying that he'll help out by remaining at the town hall. Now for Beatrice, she's taking a little nap now, but I really hope she wakes up soon. I need one of my goats back. To hopefully keep you locked into ReZero during the seasonal break, this channel will be posting loads more ReZero content in the future. Of course, that's not all of our channel is about, but it's certainly my favorite series. That is a wealth of things to analyze and review, even during this drought of anime content. So, if that sounds good to you, stick around and subscribe to the channel. Back to the video. Ricardo and Julius versus Gluttony? With this fight, we know that they're gonna fight Gluttony, the problem is, which Gluttony? I mean, there's two, Roy Alfard and Lei Baden Kaitos. Baden Kaitos being the one holding Rem's memory hostage. Julius is my goat, and we love Ricardo, but these two were kind of assigned because they were the only ones left. Garfield and Wilhelm versus Teresa, Kurgan, and Capella. For this fight, it kind of seems the most difficult. I mean, it's only Garfield and Wilhelm against 3 separate parties, including the Demi-Beasts, and whatever crazy transmogrified beings that Capella will throw at these two. I have a feeling that this will be one of the most difficult fights in this arc. Last but certainly not least, we move on to the main show. Emilia, Reinhard, and Subaru versus Regulus Cornelius. I mean, Reinhard is virtually the strongest being in the ReZero universe. not only being able to grant himself divine protections on command, but also being an absolute being regardless of these divine protections. But for Regulus, at this point of the anime, we really don't know much about how he functions. He's like an invulnerable anomaly that doesn't seem to be bothered by the rules of the world around him. But let's not forget the greatest duo ever, Subaru and Emilia, both of which I'm really hyped to see how much they've grown over the past year, since the events of the Sanctuary. To wrap up here, in addition to the content that we're going to get for the rest of Arc 5, ReZero Season 3 will also be adapting the next arc after that, with Season 3 having a total of 38 episodes as I've mentioned before. This information has been confirmed by ICE, the primary leaker for ReZero, and there's loads of other evidence pointing towards its inclusion. If you'd like to learn more about that, then I recommend checking out the video I made on whether Arc 6 will be adapted or not in Season 3. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I recommend subscribing to the channel. We do a lot of ReZero content, however, we also cover a variety of other games and any manga content. So, if you're interested in any of the other videos that we got, or ones that we'll make in the future, I recommend sticking around for more. Thank you.